Yes, good morning, everyone. Welcome for our RTL online training and placement. Today demo, I'm going to explain about Oracle Cloud Supply Chain Management Functional Consultant course we are going to discuss. During my explanation, if you have any doubts, please text in the message box, or you can click raise hand option so that I'll unmute. Then we can go for discuss, because we have more than 22 members in the link. It's difficult to unmute everyone at a time, right? That's the reason I kept to mute everybody. Okay, fine. So before we go for start, let me explain about RTL online training and placement, what exactly we are. We are based out in Hyderabad and as well as in Bangalore locations. Hyderabad, we are based out in Ameerpet, and Bangalore, we are based out in Marathalli. And we are exclusively Oracle Cloud Technologies trainings and placement. We are exclusively Oracle Cloud. When I say Oracle Cloud, both financial, supply chain management, human capital management, and technical as well as the integrations, training and placements we are going to provide. Okay, so exclusive, the training what we are going to provide is exclusively for interview point of view as well as in the project point of view. Nowadays, we know that most of the people are asking for the job support. We are ready to provide the job support after you get placed. But what I can promise, whatever the training we are going to give, if you follow theoretically and practically, you don't need any job support. Even if the companies are asking you to come to office and work, you will be in a position to work. That is the additional specialty of RTL online training, what I can say. Proudly, we can say that we are from RTL online. RTL students never required any job support compared to any other training institutions. But you must follow our instructions. We will be providing you the WhatsApp group for any solutions, and you have to prepare the things whatever we have provided theoretically as well as practically. That is required, because nowadays offices are going to open, so everybody should be ready to work independently in the team in front of the managers, right? So let's be ready to work hard and do the things. Okay, before we that, please subscribe for our RTL online training. Just you need to go to YouTube and subscribe, mention that RTL online training here, so we can see that exclusively we are having around 7,000 subscribers for cloud. I'll be posting regularly whatever the interviews we are conducting here. We will be providing the mock interviews, interview clearings, and how the interviews they will be asking, how we are supposed to give the answer, how we have to explain about the project discussion. So this all we will be talking, and regularly whatever we are discussing, that I'll be posting it in the YouTube. I request everyone, please subscribe if you are going to enter into the cloud environment. Okay, so today I'm going to explain right. So we are going to have two demo sessions today and tomorrow. Today is a demo 1 and tomorrow will be demo 2. And from Monday onwards, regular sessions will be started. We have two slots, morning slot is there and evening slot is there. This is exclusively placement point of view, we'll be talking about it. Okay. The course name is Oracle Cloud Supply Chain Management Functional Consultant. Looks like a little bit lengthy, right? No problem. It's not much complex. I'm sure that it's zero coding. No coding skills are required for this. No prerequisitions are required for this. We are going to treat that everybody is a fresher for this course. But only thing is, we need your commitment. We need your hard work. We need your time. You have to spend more time on the application and start practice whatever we are discussing in our sessions, both basic as well as the real-time options. Okay, so before we go for talk about this, first we have to discuss what is Oracle. Then we have to discuss what is Oracle Fusion. Then we have to discuss what is Oracle Fusion Cloud. Then we have to discuss what is Oracle Fusion Cloud Supply Chain Management. Then we have to discuss what is Oracle Fusion Cloud Supply Chain Management function. We have to go step by step like this. Okay, so then we will go enter into the practical point of view. First, we'll talk about what is Oracle. So we know that Oracle, Microsoft, IBM, these all are software companies. So Oracle is one of the database company which was established in 1970s. It is around 40 years back. Okay, so Oracle is one of the software company, and Oracle has developed one database called Oracle database. So what is mean by Oracle? Oracle is a database initially. If we talk about only Oracle, what is Oracle? Oracle is one of the database. Why we require database? Which will be used to maintain the data. Whenever we want to maintain the data, we will be using the Oracle database. There are a number of database. SQL server is there, MySQL is there, PostgreSQL is there, HANA is there, number of, but Oracle is one of the number one database. Most of the applications we will be using to maintain the data. For example, your client is doing some retail business. When we say that retail business, every day some thousands of customers will be coming to the sales office. They'll buy the products. I want to maintain who has came, customer number, customer address, and customer what items he has purchased, how much discount we have given. This is all data we want to maintain. Then we will be using Oracle database. This is just a database. It is not an application. We can also call it as a backend. Okay. Then what is Oracle Fusion? Oracle Fusion is nothing but it is one of the application, ERP application. It is one of the ERP application, Enterprise Resource Planning application. Enterprise Resource Planning application. 1 minute, please. So Oracle Fusion is one of the ERP application. What is meant by ERP? ERP stands for Enterprise Resource Planning. Enterprise means company. Your client might be doing any business. For example, ICICI is there. What they do? They do banking. HDFC, they do banking. LIC, they do insurance. Birla Sun Life, they do insurance. Mahindra, they do manufacturing, automobiles. Tata, of course, they have automobile servicing, Tata Motors, Tata Capital, Tata Communications. Reliance also, they got all the business. Right. So your enterprise, whenever they are doing some business, maybe automobiles or manufacturing, even US agriculture business also, whoever is doing, they'll maintain the software to business transactions. Okay. So enterprise resource. Whenever any enterprise is running the business, they want to maintain their day-to-day business transactions properly. Then only they can go for utilize their resource. When I say resource, their employees, their suppliers, their customers, their items, their banks, their all business transactions. Okay, they wanted to maintain all this data in a proper plan. If they don't maintain this data in a proper plan or proper structure, then it is difficult for the enterprises to take a decisions or to understand what is happening within the company and which branch I'm getting the business, which branch I'm not getting the business. What is the reason for that? Which department is issue? Which employee is issue? Who is the customer? Who is the better profile customer, average customer and low customer? And customer has given some feedback and I wanted to know what was the issue, and I am supposed to assign some engineer for them, and issue has to be closed and make sure that that issue should not come next time. So these all things we can plan it. when you maintain your data in a proper format in the database. That's what we call it as a ERP application. ERP stands for Enterprise Resource Planning. Enterprise means companies, clients. Whenever resource, nothing but their business transactions, customers, supplier, employees, banks, and all comes under resource. They have to maintain a proper plan. We call it as a ERP applications. There are a number of ERP applications in the market. SAP is there, Salesforce is there, and after that we have PeopleSoft. It was old, not much later now. Workday is there, Microsoft Dynamics, we call it as MIM Dynamics, like this we have. But not Oracle is going to be the number one. Earlier SAP was there, but Oracle is going to be a number one ERP in another 2 to 3 years. I'll tell you what is the reason also. I'm not telling just like that. There is a logic behind that. I'm going to explain you why Oracle is going to overtake the SAP. Means overtake in the sense pushing it to the second place, and Oracle is going to into the first place. Okay. So now I hope everybody is clear. What is Oracle? Oracle is just a database to store some data. It's a backend. It's a database. It's a backend. Fusion is nothing but application. When I say application, both will be there, front end and back end. Whenever we say any software application, both front end will be there and back end. Front end means whatever the forms you open and do the data entry. That's called front end. For example, I'm going to open this Facebook here. Once I enter Facebook, I'm going to enter the username and password. This is front end. This all fields, buttons, check boxes, hyperlinks. This all comes as a front end. But after we enter this data and click the button, this information is going to be saved into the database tables, right? Backend. That's what we call it as a backend. So whenever we say software application, that is going to have both front end and back end. Any application, ERP or business application, finance application, any type of things. Okay, so whenever we are using this ERP application in the cloud, Fusion, we call it as a Fusion Cloud. So what is Oracle Fusion Cloud? If you are using this application in the cloud, then we call it as Oracle Fusion Cloud. Okay, it means we have to talk about now what is cloud. For example, I am going to use the Facebook. I'm going to use the Facebook. Is Facebook installed in your server, in your laptop? No. Facebook is not installed in my laptop. It's there in Facebook company servers. So whatever the data you are entering, is it stored in your laptop? No, it's not stored. It's stored in the Facebook servers. For example, YouTube. I'm going to upload all the YouTube videos. Every day one video I will upload. Every day I will upload one video. Is it going to stored in my laptop or on my server? No, it's going to be stored in the YouTube company servers. That is what we call it as a cloud. Cloud is nothing but a virtual server. We don't know where exactly that server is located. We call it as a virtual server. We call it as virtual server. Cloud is nothing but a virtual servers. Whenever the clients are doing some business, when they want to maintain their server, it will be expensive and risky, not having much features to maintain in their own servers. So now the companies are looking out. I don't want to install this software in my server. I want to use it in Oracle server. That is called Oracle Cloud. That is called Oracle Cloud. If you install Oracle Fusion in your server, means in your office server, then we call it as Oracle Fusion applications. But if this software is installed in Oracle servers and you are using that, then we call it as a cloud. How to connect to Oracle server? You have to use the internet. You have to use the internet, and Oracle will give you the link. Oracle will give you the link. Just let me open that link here. Now this is the URL which will be given by the Oracle. And now you are going to enter the username and password, and you are going to connect to the Oracle Cloud. To the Oracle Cloud. Okay. So whenever client purchase this software, client will be getting separate URL. Client will be getting separate URL and separate credentials. If client having 500 employees, they'll give 500 username and passwords. Client employees every day, they'll come to office, their cashier, their clerk, their manager, their sales reps and their buyers, their sales specialists, financial analysts, general managers, whoever it is. They'll come to office every day. They'll open the system through internet. They are going to connect to this URL, enter the credentials, and start doing the transactions. Create invoice, make the payments, check printing, enter the data, update the data, delete the data, export the data, import the data, generate the report, show the reports, print out the reports. All business transactions every day they will be performing in this particular application. Okay. So if the Oracle Fusion application is installed in your server, we call it as on-premises. On-premises means in my premise, in my server. But client says that nowadays, last 4-5 years, every client is interested to go to the cloud. The reason behind that, if you go to the cloud, the entire risk is the company, whoever is maintaining that cloud servers will take care of it. For example, Oracle servers. Okay. So what Oracle is telling, we have established around 38 regions. We have established in 38 regions data centers. Data centers. We have established the data centers in 38 regions. For example, in India, Oracle has established in 2 regions. One is in Hyderabad, another one is in Mumbai. I'll show you. Oracle data centers in India. Oracle launches second data center in India, in Hyderabad. When Oracle has launched this news around 2 years back, okay, 2020. So what Oracle is telling, Oracle has launched its second data center in Hyderabad, quickly expanding in the country after its first such center was unveiled in Mumbai last year. It means in 2019, they have established in Mumbai, and 2020, they have established in Hyderabad. So in India, 2 regions, they have established like that across the world. Across the world, 38 regions, Oracle has established data center. What is mean by data center? Why we require? Why they have established in 38 places? What is the benefit is? It's very simple. What Oracle is telling to the clients, for example, in India clients, let's say Indian clients are there. They may be automobile or banking or insurance or chit fund or manufacturing or share market or retail industry, any business. What Oracle is telling, instead of maintaining in your own server, why don't you use our servers which are established in the data centers? So in the data centers, what you will find, supercomputers will find supercomputers as in server with cloud technology. So simply we can say cloud in the sense server. Indirectly it is a server, but within that cloud there will be a separate technology Oracle will use to provide the service to the customers. That will be taken care by the cloud technology developers. That is a different concept. So at this point of time, our client wants to use this software called Oracle Fusion. Now the Oracle is telling this software I will not give to install in your server. It is there in my cloud, means it is there in my server. You must connect to my server and use the application. And if you want to buy, it takes, for example, $100. If you use it from the cloud, it is just $5 per year. So is it good for investing $100 first, or just pay $5 and use the product? And if you satisfy, continue the next year, like that you can start. It's just like a tenant, just like a tenant. Instead of investing a lot of amount in the initial stage, what Oracle is telling, not only Oracle, all cloud companies are telling that it is better to have use the application in my cloud. If you feel happy, let's go for extend and start with. So most of the companies nowadays, they are moving to cloud company, except some sensitive data. Some sensitive data, they'll try to keep it in their server, but the remaining all data, they'll try to push it into the cloud. For example, ICICI Bank is there. They use this Oracle Fusion, but they don't use Oracle Fusion for accounts. Accounts they want to maintain in their accounts data and customers data. They want to maintain their servers, but their employees data they are using in the cloud. Okay, so here what we have to understand, cloud is nothing but a virtual server. So where the servers are located, the servers are located in the data centers. Earlier, what happened? Clients were asking if my data, for example, before 2019, if we talk about India, okay. So before 2019, where the Oracle servers were there, it was there in US. So when Oracle sales guy go to some client, for example, in India we have a Heritage Fresh. So what is Heritage Fresh? They are into the retail industry. Okay, how many branches they have? Around 400 outlets they have in Andhra and Telangana. Okay, so now 400 outlets, they are doing the business every day. They want to maintain all these data transactions in the servers. So if Oracle goes to heritage manager and ask, why don't you use our cloud to maintain your data instead of using your server? The manager asks immediately, where is your server? Where is your data center? Then the sales guy says, in US. How can I store my data in US? Because I'm doing business in India. If your servers, if your data centers are established in India, then I believe it. I'm interested to use. I'll consider. That's the reason almost in every country, Oracle has started establishing the data centers across the world. Not only Oracle, all the cloud companies, even AWS is our competitor. They started establishing. Microsoft Azure, yes, they started. Google Cloud, yes, they started. But Google Cloud, not much customer point of view, because Google Cloud is having huge their data itself. They are not in a position to provide some other, but they have something. But major competitors in the cloud, AWS, Amazon Web Services, another one is a Microsoft Azure. Okay, so the reason why in every region Oracle has started establishing the data centers is clients are requesting, if you establish the data center in our country, then somewhat we are interested to use your servers and maintain all our applications and data, everything in your cloud. Then they can go for start. You might, I hope everybody knows TikTok, right? So at the time of Corona, I think it's around 2020. What happened? It was a China-based company, used to maintain in the China servers. Then they have banned in US. They have banned TikTok. Then what they have done? They have started using this Oracle Cloud. The TikTok Oracle said to here. Oracle finally won TikTok's US data storage business. Then what TikTok company said to US, don't worry about your data privacy. I'm going to use your country company called Oracle. Oracle is a US based company. So whatever the data you are trying to push it or pull it from this application, it's going to be stored in US only. It's in US data center, in Oracle US data center. Then they have started using that and they have given the permission. So it's very common that any client says that I want to make sure that my data is there in my country data centers. Okay, so that's the reason most of the clients, cloud companies have started establishing. Same Oracle also has done it, around 38 regions. Okay, so now I hope you are clear what is Oracle Oracle is just a database earlier. Then Oracle Fusion, it is one of the ERP application. If you start using this Fusion in the cloud, then we call it as the Oracle Fusion Cloud. Then what is supply chain management? Okay, so when I say Oracle Cloud, Oracle Fusion is one of the ERP product. Oracle Fusion is one of the ERP product. In ERP, majorly there will be a domains, 4 domains: finance, supply chain management, human capital management, CRM, PPM, GRC, ORC, like this. There will be around 10 to 11 or 12, more than that also. It's a regular process. Every year, Oracle will start adding some more domains. But majorly, most of the clients will use this 4: finance, supply, human, and CRM. Okay. But CRM is not that much in Oracle, because Salesforce is #1 in CRM. Nobody can replace in CRM domain. Salesforce is #1. They have acquired a maximum business in the Salesforce. In CRM domain, Salesforce has acquired. So Oracle or SAP cannot do anything over there. Oracle is #1 for finance and supply chain management. Recently, they started human capital also. Okay, so whenever any client wants to buy this ERP and start use this ERP product, first what client says, what are the domains? Nothing but what are the areas your application is built up: financial services, supply chain, human capital, like this. So there will be a domains like this. We will find financial domain, supply chain domain. Okay, so let me open the Excel sheet here. So we talked about what is cloud. So cloud is virtual server. Who are the competitors? AWS, Azure, Google, Oracle. This, what is Oracle Cloud? We discussed. And what is Fusion applications? ERP product. Oracle has developed. This is our next generation ERP product here. Okay. And then we have the next one we discussed: financials, supply chain management, human capital management. This all we are going to have. SCM, CRM, PPM, like this we have, right? These are different domains. Depends on the requirement, client is going to buy and start using that product. Some clients wants only finance. They don't want any other. Okay. So then they'll be using this financials. Depends on the requirement. Okay. So there will be a jobs for Fusion Finance, Fusion Cloud Finance, different jobs. When we talk about the jobs point of view here, Fusion Cloud, there will be a 2 jobs majorly: technical and functional in ERP product. In Fusion Cloud, there will be 2 jobs: technical and functional. So functional consultant will do the setups. Technical consultant will develop the reports, will develop the integrations. He will go for data migration, data validation. He will write the code and he will go for validate the data, update the data, delete the data, insert the data. So you'll be performing all those things by writing the coding here. Okay. And functional consultant, there is no coding, 0. So functional consultant is going to do the setups. Functional is going to do the setups. So when we talk about finance, there will be a finance functional jobs and finance technical job. There will be a SCM technical, SCM functional jobs, SCM technical jobs. There will be a human capital functional separate, SCM technical. But nowadays, when you are a technical consultant, they are not going to treat finance technical separate, SCM technical separate, HCM technical. They are not treating like that. So they are going to treat all are same. All are same. Technical means you should work in finance, you should work in supply chain, you should work in human capital also. We cannot segregate. I am a finance consultant, I cannot work in supply. You are supposed to work in supply also. So in fusion applications going forward, there will be only one technical job. You cannot establish that I am just finance technical. But functional, it's 100% different. Finance functional consultant will work only in finance modules. He cannot work in supply chain. Supply chain management functional consultant will work only in supply chain. Human capital management will work only in human capital. Okay, so those all are functional consultants are restricted to that particular domain. So we cannot work in finance or human capital. Okay, now this is the course we are trying to learn. So these are the different jobs: finance functional, SCM functional, human capital functional, technical integrations, like that. There are different jobs we have. So out of that, this is what we are trying to learn: supply chain management functional. Is clear, everybody? Any doubts here? Please, you can go for ask the doubts over here. So this course is 100% functional, and we are going to have 40% technical consultant. Okay, it means, for example, when we apply as a supply chain management functional consultant with 3 years of experience or 4 years of experience, when we go for interview or when we join in the company, so you must have some idea about technical, right? For example, I'm working in this project last 4 years. I have involved 3 projects. In these 3 projects, definitely my team member technical people are there. Obviously, even if I have not involved technically, I must be knowing what is the role and responsibility of the technical excuse me, technical consultants. And also I must be knowing at least procedure. For example, how to develop a report, how to register a report, how to load the data, how to extract the data, how to build one analysis, how to do simple personalization. So this particular processes, we must be doing one example in all the 5 areas: report, analysis, data import, data extract, and personalization. 5 places, each one we will be doing one example, so that whenever we go for interview or when we are working in the project, we will not be able to be calm when some technical discussion is going on. Because if we concentrate more on technical, our main strength will be decreased. So 100% we should become as a functional consultant is in business scenarios understanding. I'll be giving some around 40% how it can be done. Yes.
Okay. For technical, do we require PL SQL as well?
Yes, yes. SQL and PLSQL. Technical consultant means coding. SQL and PLSQL required.
Okay. Also,
this course is not for technical.
Yeah.
This is a functional, and we are 100% functional consultant and having some technical. If somebody knows already SQL and PLSQL, they can claim as a some technical also, because I'll be giving one example, right? Every place that.
And also, I'm confusing. Actually, there are 3 domains main, like finance, SCM, and HCM, right? So
yes.
Even myself, it is confused. Which one we should choose?
It is generally, it depends on your interest, area of interest. For example, you have came from MBA HR background, and or you have some experience in HR recruitment policies, and you are much interested in human capital. So then you can go for HCM. For example, you are MBA finance and you are financial background, you have some very good knowledge on accounts, or at least you are interested in the accounting background. So then you can go for finance. And supply chain management is general. There is no prerequisites required for this. It's all finally end of the day, the job is required. Now the market is good for supply chain management. Huge openings are there. That's what I can say. So BTech mechanical people are entering into the supply chain, and general MBA people also entering, BCom graduation also entering. So it's there is no prerequisition. End of the day, our interest and hard work, and go ahead with working.
Actually, currently I'm working on supply chain.
Yeah, that's
Related project.
then 100% clear you are suitable for this. So it will give more. So it doesn't mean that, for example, it doesn't mean that MBA finance candidate cannot learn supply chain management. He can also learn. If we apply, for example, our education qualification is MBA finance, and last 4 years I'm working in accounts, tally, but still I'm not interested in accounts. I wanted to change the domain to supply chain management. No problem. You are just doing accounts. You are not much interested in accounting background. You wanted to shift to supply chain management. Doesn't matter. You can learn and work hard and go ahead with working supply chain. So the companies will never ask you, you did MBA finance, then why you came to supply chain? It's my interest. I did when I was doing my graduation, I was interested to do it in finance in master. Then after that, I worked, but I'm not interested. I'm ready to work in supply. So like that, we can explain. Generally, they won't ask. By end of the day, they will expect what is our project, whether this consultant is having the skills, whether he is suitable for our project work or not. That's what they'll be checking.
Yeah, sir, in this domain, 2+ year, any calls is there plus 2+
2
year?
plus 2.5 onwards. Calls are
Actually, previously I learned Oracle SQL and PLSQL, sir. There is no calls 2+ year of experience. That's
SQL
why.
and PLSQL difficult. If you are already good in SQL, PLSQL, you can go for technical. There is 100% placement. You can contact our admin person. I hope you guys are having our admin number, right?
Yeah.
You can find here. You please contact them. They'll explain you the technical placement. 100% technical is going on.
Okay.
Yeah.
Your training is offline or online, sir? Only
Training
online.
class is complete online because I am working and it's completely online. But every day I'll be available 4 hours in office, Hyderabad, Ameerpet. If you have any doubts during that time, you can come to office and meet and go for clarification. 4 hours I'll be available, 4 to 5 hours.
Yeah, your office is available in Bangalore, sir?
Bangalore is there, but I will not be available.
Okay. Actually, I'm present in Martal, sir, Bangalore.
Yeah. I can give the address, but I'm based out in Hyderabad. But placements will be going on through that office. It is. Yeah.
Okay.
Fine, guys. Is clear, everybody? Any other doubts here now? Okay. So let me go for explain. So we talked about, now we got clarity. What is vision and all. Now we'll talk about supply chain management. What are the modules are there? Oracle, Fusion, SCM, Cloud. Functional consultant means we must be clear at least 2 modules. We are going to learn Oracle inventory module, Oracle procurement, purchasing module, Oracle order management module, Oracle self-service procurement module, Oracle SQL, supplier qualification management module, and then we are going to talk about supplier portal. Then we are going to talk about costing. But these all are simple, not much complex. Just 2 to 3 days sufficient for this simple modules. But these are major modules. It takes 45 working hours to take up all this in supply chain management cloud. But they will expect at least 2 modules. You should be strong. but we are going to learn 4 to 5 modules so that in case if there is a requirement in that module, then we will be applying for a job. As a job seeker, we cannot restrict saying that I am good in only in 2 modules, right? Because we want to break. We need opportunities. So we have to learn more than 2 modules. Generally 2 modules sufficient as a functional consultant if you apply. But requirement, if I have the requirement is different, then definitely we are supposed to go for it right here. Okay. So let me show you how we can work with the application, how the users can log in and start working with this. So I'm going to show you how to create one user account in Fusion applications, how to create ourselves one user. So whenever we log into the Fusion applications, there will be 2 menus. One is user menu, which will be doing the setups, nothing but admin part. And another one is a navigator menu. Here we will be doing the transactions. Here we will be doing transactions. Here it is. Okay. Now I'm going to perform here tools menu, security console. In security console, we are going to perform the activities here. Now go to users tab. I'm going to show you how we can go for create our own user account. Add user account here. Then we are going to add the roles. Role is nothing but a permission. So when employee log into the applications, what actions he can perform. Without role, user cannot perform. Without role, user cannot perform any transactions. Okay, so we are supposed to provide the roles here. Click add role button. I'm going to assign a role called security console. What is the purpose of security console? If you give this role to the employee, then employee can log in and employee can go for perform user management, role management. So he will have the access to complete user management as well as the role management. Go to IT security manager role. So this role is going to be assigned over here. So whenever user is having this role, IT security manager, then user can log in and do the user management as well as role management. User management as well as the role management. Both the things can be done. Okay. So these two are management is nothing but a create, update, delete. That's what we call. User management means you can create users, you can update the users, you can delete the users. This all things can be done here. Another role I'm going to assign, application implementation consultant. Application implementation consultant. Application implementation consultant. There will be multiple roles here with the same name, ORA_ASM_. We'll be discussing in our training the difference between these two things here. Now go for application implementation consultant here. Now these are the two roles we have assigned. So this is our username and password, and these are the two roles we have assigned. IT security manager will be given the access to the security console where we can do the user management as well as the role management. Another one is application implementation consultant. Application means fusion application. Implementation means setups. You are going to do the setups. So you are a functional consultant or technical consultant. You will be doing the implementation, this process here. Okay, let's go for save and close and log in with this user. Let's log out and log in. Okay. Here we can find user menu, setup and maintenance. This is nothing but our application implementation consultant. So we are going to enter into the setups environment, nothing but an administration environment. We call it as FSM. FSM stands for functional setup manager. Functional setup manager. That's what we call it as an FSM. Okay, functional setup manager will be performing all our functional setups. Next, when it goes to our navigator, tools menu, security console. So here what we can do is ourselves, we can go for manage self user information, or other users also we can access, and we can add the roles, we can delete the roles, and we can completely manage the roles and users information from security console. From security console, we are going to perform all these activities here. So go to users tab and go to roles tab, and we'll be able to perform all these activities. We can search our user account. This is our user account, which we have. Okay, so if at all we want to go for edit and go for add the roles, we can add. If we want to reset the password, we can reset. If we want to log the username, we can log. And if we want to deactivate this user account, we can go for deactivate. This is how we will be performing the user account. Here it is. Okay, it's just simple. I have just shown you how we can go for create a user account and the environment of our Fusion applications, how it looks like. Okay, so this is our first demo. So what we have discussed. So tomorrow we'll be discussing detailed about each module, inventory module, and we'll do a couple of setups so that you will be clear. So whether you are able to understand and all. and we will be able to perform. And this particular demo 1 will be uploaded in YouTube. You can subscribe from here. You can go for access this. Okay. Thank you. Thanks for your time you have spent with me, and thank you. Let's see you tomorrow, same time, same meeting ID for second demo.